Hi, it's BC. It's the evening of day 13, March 26th, 2022. And it's been, I think maybe it's been one of those days where it's like, I can't even put a phrase on it. I actually had a PTO day off today, which was good. And I didn't do any in the time off sector, but um, I didn't feel like I was rushing or running or checking off the list. I just took steps forward. I did some stuff. I don't think I got anything monumentally huge done, but I feel a little bit more on the business side organized. I was doing stuff on getting things off of the desktop and um, getting little things, little technical things done so that it um, uh, so that I'm in the process of setting it up so it's easier if I don't have a lot of internet connection or if I don't have a lot of electricity or those kinds of things. Is kind of more set up. So in that respect, I guess I got to take it a day off because I'm thinking about it. I didn't do a lot, but I did some stuff. I went into town and so that was good. I got some containers um, to put stuff in the back of the cargo containers, things to put stuff in the back of the truck. And I think maybe some of the biggest things I got done was to really think about that I need to rethink or just maybe do a 2-track about what I drive out of here in. So perhaps get more organized and more ready to be driving out of here with just the truck and go and find some kind of little truck shell, that just goes over the back of the bed, so that I can camp in, sleep in the back underneath the camper top, just the old-fashioned kind of shell, and how to do that because a lot of days can I think was was last night. I think was the night. It was in the middle of the morning. So, um, and that was I guess sobering is um, the thing to say. If it was just me, piece of cake to do that. It's I'm short and it's a big back seat of the truck, so that is doable. But it's not. It's Xander takes up at least half of the back seat. So it would be me and the 2 dogs and the cat and a little bit of stuff. So that would be packed. So I have to think about that. I was actually chatting with a friend on the phone in the parking lot when I went to get some groceries, and we were playing with different permutations. And so I think what I'll do is I'm going to write something up and maybe ask for your help in looking, or again, super high clear vibration to amp up magnetizing, and that might help me see, if the resources is like, where is there one that I can find a really good used one, so it's not $3,000, and that it can be installed. What I need is a camper shell that has windows on the sides, that is absolutely waterproof, that is sealed tight to the truck, that I can lock and can be safe, because that would be how, I could leave. So if that's all I've got, I can leave stuff in the back, or maybe the dogs or something, a cat, and I can go into a grocery store. Otherwise, I'm not going to feel safe, and um, leaving them just to run in for a few minutes to get groceries. So, anyways, it was sobering's the best thing I can think of, and I don't know whether it's just because I need to change thoughts on that, but one of the reasons it was sobering is I just keep having this thought is, um, have I stepped down a road? I've stepped down the right road for me. I absolutely know that, because what was going on in my life was not a life, and had been not a life for far too long, even though pretty not a life. um, so it's this very interesting. I feel thrilled with my decision, and I feel thrilled with the road I'm walking down, and I do have a little trepidation that it's going to be difficult. So what? That's not. I'm not. That's been a theme in my life, but um, about the animals moving through in a good way. Keegan's an older pup, and he gets worried when I get worried. Um, so I do try my best not to get worried. And Rose actually is the one that seems to be in favor, just as far as talking and stuff, in favor of this, but it's going to be hard. The dog is different than a cat, and she has been on a leash. She doesn't like it, but she will go and walk in the grass and sniff and enjoy it. We have to used to live in an apartment. Anyways, so the reason it was sobering is after I had that conversation, and I was helpful, and helped me at least make more of a plan, instead of being this, I don't know, and feeling, maybe it was a feeling of waiting on something. I don't mind the energy of being in pause. I don't mind the energy of being in the flow at whatever the pace the flow is. But the waiting on, or the so if I'm doing something, and in that moment I'm not rushing fast, or I'm just relaxing, that's great. But when it's an indecision of what I'm doing, because maybe the honesty is that obviously that's that angst, because I'm not fully trusting. I'm doing the best I can. I think I'm doing pretty good. Can always do better. So when I was driving home, it's a long drive from town home. It's about 30 minutes. And uh, I just was sad, because all these things are going through my mind of, um, you know, how do I, because Rose is an older cat. She's got her in Arizona, Texas, when I used to live just outside Austin. Um, she was just a kitten. I adopted her, and she's actually has driven. She's an old hen, and she has driven across different dogs, but she's driven across the country. I had a little U-Haul, and I drove all the way from Texas to Martha's Vineyard, with the what was a Durango or something I had, and I had it set up in the back seat of the car, the labs. That I had a bunch of stuff in the U-Haul, little one of those little kind of guys, and she had like this netted kind of a thing, and tiniest little cat box I could get squeezed in there, and it was an SUV, so the seat was down, and the dogs kind of were there, and everything else, you know, computers and stuff were shoehorned in around, but we were just going a straight shot. We were just driving. We weren't going super long days, but it's across the country. So, and I'd sneak her into the hotel at night, and she could have the run of the hotel room, go in the cool tile in the bathroom and just relax and stuff. And she did okay, but she was a baby then, and it was a straight shot. We were going from here to there. We weren't meandering, weren't going to be living. We were just traveling from point A to point B, and then getting to the vineyard. So it's funny, I'd forgotten to this moment that we did that. But it's interesting, SUVs are configured a different way, so there's actually more room because the seat folds down than in the truck thing. So what I just was sad, teared the whole way home, thinking, do I have to find someone to leave her a friend that she could stay with for a couple months until what? Until I get till the things flow in, and this patron that keeps coming in my visions and in other things from other people to me, and the travel trailer, or I materialize enough funds to do that myself. It's very interesting because when things click over into the new thing, because I have a little bit of the kryptonic, we'll say. Again, it's YouTube, so I want to be careful. I have a lot of the crypty stuff, not a lot, but some. Okay, well, compared to some people, just a little bit, but it's some. And so that's something, but I'm not going to move that now because it's at the wrong thing, and I don't want to miss the moonshot to then take some out, if that makes sense. And I do have I don't know if pieces of eight is the right analogy, but it's a good metaphor. And when that moves, so when we click out of the old construct and in the old, all of the, in that short term, because we won't stay there very long, have funds. Right now, they're pretty, they're heavy, but I don't. So I'm ready for as we move forward. And I was thinking today, as I was crying on the way home, because I might have to me, it would seem like abandoning the cat. And since I've had my fair share of that, I don't want to do that. But anyways, I was thinking of, well, maybe is there a friend that I could leave her with for, I don't know, I mean, down here a couple of months while zigzagging so that I can drive back to get her. And the answer, if that's the choice, yes, I would. So I don't know. On the one hand, it feels like I made a kind of a decision that I need to if I can go there in my heart completely and not just thinking I'm going there in my heart, then I need to play fully with the idea of the camper top. and start to look, put a little something together. Maybe you again put it out there. Does anybody know about these? And I don't know, maybe someone's a dealer in them. And you can put me in the right connection with something. Um, and one of the things to do once I put something together like that on tomorrow, and mostly it's just people playing in that absolute joy energy for them, just really clear, which of course is beneficial for everybody else. And then once you get in that place for a minute, just sending some of that in my direction, and then I direct it, all of mine plus the the love beams from you guys, um, and I don't know, maybe it's effortless, and hey, there's a really good solid used one here, and this and that and the other thing, and that flows, but they can't get to it for a little bit while, so it's absolutely can be mine, but I don't have to put the money down yet, and it's all ready, and so that's set, and I don't have to worry because it will be all set, and I can go in that process, and that leaves the window open for all sorts of things, and in that window flows the the patron and the travel trailer. I don't know, maybe it's just releasing that last piece of worry, or it flows so fast and that's telling me, well, wow, that was effortless, and that's the way to go. And I go out, sail off of here, and maybe get some possibilities of friends lined up, and I take a couple days and figure that out, and um and I leave Rose for, I don't know, a month or two. I'm not sure what I'm doing, if I'm kind of, now I'm waiting, keep cooling my heels. So I don't know. It sucks. Anyways, but at least having them play with the friend and a sad drive home. It's gonna sound weird, but it seems a little more settled. So maybe that's because that's old fears or old worthlessness or something coming out. And in which case there's a nice trail of it on the road. Um, I don't know. So, anyways, I just wanted to share where I am. I'm not sure where that is, except that it's time to go to sleep. So day 13, I got some crates, they're heavy duty kind of, they're not the roughneck Rubbermaid, because those are, I couldn't find them and they're really expensive. So I'm going for that will be strong now. I don't need it to last 4 or 5 years right this minute. I have one actually that's lasted 4 or 5 years and it's in great shape. But so I got that, and those will go in the back of the truck underneath the bed liner for right now. I'll just put something together and start to put some feelers out and think into the camper top. Maybe just be on that plan, not locked into it, but be on the plan. It's going to be the camper top. And start looking if I can find something for Rose that will fit in the truck, or if there's a way to securely work something in the back when she's driving in the truck. She's safe, so it's sturdy and locked in. It's not gonna move, but she has a little bit of room, not too noisy or stuff back there. At least if she's in the cab, she's used to driving the car with me. She's been doing that in a little carrier. So figure that out, and then I'll ask all of you for at least the pure, clean, happy love stream, and you get to play in that too. Actually, people said that they played in that, and it was really helpful for them. They got some stuff they wanted to get launched, and they sent it my way. So I'm happy to help with that facilitation. And we'll see what tomorrow brings day 14, so it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, since I had my conversation with friend Toby at night, general manager, to tell him personally, and then so we'll see. But at least I can start to pack a little bit and move stuff out of here. I think maybe that's part of me. When you're going on a trip and you're excited to go, and you're not quite ready, but you're not really leaving yet, whether it's to the airport or any place, and you're that in between zone. You're no longer, maybe you're on vacation and you have to come home. So you're no longer on vacation. You're no longer in the fun. You're happy to go home, but you're not there yet. So maybe that's part of it. I'm in this, maybe that is part of it. I'm not only am I in the world but not of it, but I'm beyond that, and I'm not there. I'm not really, I don't work here anymore. I'm doing some stuff to finish up, which is a lot. Because when I leave, it's a position for 4 people when I leave, because where the way that this place is so big and there's different things. So it'll have to fall under 4 different streams of, like there's people they're in this section of the business, and I do a big swath there, and I do big, so 4 different sections, which are totally, in essence, unrelated on the teams, if there's teams that do them. So I've got to capture all that, so the 4 different people can be, in that. Anyways, I'm just checking in to see how I feel about it. Less muddled. So that's a good thing. Not happy. Not worried. Not in flow, because I think I just need to do some time now. Let's spend a little time now to be that before I just so I can fall asleep. But maybe overall better, but not in happy dance mode yet. So it's good. It's the best I got right now, and I feel like I've stepped a half a step forward, different than I thought a step forward would feel like. But a step forward. So again, it's a perception game, right? I mean, we're all having to shift our perceptions, or things have shifted, and our perceptions have to catch up with them. And feels like they're all in the forward, in the good part. It just, sometimes we have a moment, and I'm in one of those moments where the perception is not what we thought, or what we thought we wanted, or what we thought it would look like, and so we think we don't like what we're perceiving, and it could be that it's the exact right move, and going through that, because in that we're shedding other misperceptions, or we're clarifying stuff, and we're kind of going through a mud, splashes over the windshield, and now the windshield wiper clears it, and then the rainstorm comes and washes off the truck. A little odd, but I think that's actually a good metaphor for feeling, because I mean, I'm talking about my experience, but mine is universal. Mine is consciousness moving through all this. It's moving from, how do we move from one to the other in a bigger, more expansive way and bring it all forward. So I'm you, you're me, we're all the one who's going forward. And I've taken at least a half a step firmly in the right direction that I want. Different perception of where I am, and I'll just keep going through that and trust and double time my efforts to get clearer, cleaner, more in the heart, and more get all this other old dross and release it, and go forward. So we'll see. I know I will love where I end up, and I know even in the hard, sad, muddled steps, it's been an interesting 13 days and a very expansive, sometimes fun, sometimes challenging days, and an adventure. And I haven't really even, in quotes, gone anywhere yet I have already traveled quite some ways. Learn new things, practice new things, all sorts of, separate from what am I taking, how am I going, all that kind of stuff. I did have a moment driving home, maybe, I don't know, about 8-10 miles of the journey home. It's funny, I'm learning how to use the thing when my phone gets in the truck, because the Bluetooth is talking, although I haven't let it take my contacts off the phone in there. We don't want it to do that. But anyways, it just will start, the phone hooks up and you can see it on the dashboard. And sometimes it'll just open up some music. And so I had just some, can't remember the name of the piece, but it's actually from, it was made for Patricia Kolarobas, her son, when she passed. He brought the music down, and this wonderful gentleman on the earth took in the composition and put it out. So that started playing. So I left it on for a bit, and as I drove, there was, little pockets of light, and there seemed to be a couple miles there where, like, if you've gone through a big rainstorm and the rain lets up and then bits of shafts of light come through, and the journey's getting brighter, and it's, you release the wheel a little bit, not quite such a tight glance, and the music swells, the music within you, the music of the journey, the music of that moment swells just a little bit, and it seems to be like you're turning a corner and brightening up. So I do remember, and just kind of thinking about this, talking with you, that did occur. And so a little bit of melancholy in there, a little bit of bittersweet, but shafts of light, and the fresh air sparkling to it after a big rainstorm. So and there are layers of the storm. Thinking of the storm, there's big stuff about to come down, and that something will be difficult for everyone. Places for us all to really step into our hearts and help with that, because most people don't have a clue, and they'll be but again, it's this funny juxtaposition, because as the old caramels down, I have, as best I could, come together with that, position myself so that for that momentary change into, it will just be a momentary change. That's not what the currency will be. And of course, once we get to that point, well, I don't need to worry about anything about this. But we haven't got there yet. So, anyways, I will endeavor to become more clear and have some fun things to share. But that's what I got right there, all out there, and moving in the right direction for me because it's expansive and it's leaving here, even though it's change, which I want, which I initiated, which I pulled the trigger on, and there's no going back on any age. So I love you.